So, the saloon bar in the 22nd district of Vienna, Austria. This is a grooming pipeline. It's the centralized hub of a wider network of sexual exploitation involving underage female schoolgirls. Now, let's just hypothesize that as a result of my aggressive campaign against not only the bar, but the school, the police, child protection, all of these various institutions and organizations in Vienna, let's say that as a result, the bar, the grooming network, begins to collapse itself, it falls, because it's exceptionally unlikely that this is going to be dismantled as part of police operations. Why? Because the police are fucking facilitating it. Refer to my other videos. Please, these motherfuckers are facilitating the sexual exploitation of schoolgirls in Vienna, including attempted sex trafficking and child prostitution that is actively occurring. But let's just say the network, the grooming pipeline, collapses itself, it falls. The perpetrators begin to cover themselves. Does this mean that the perpetrators are going to get away with this? They're not going to be prosecuted, they're not going to be held to account? No, absolutely not. Because the evidence still exists and it's preserved. So exactly what evidence exists? How many men can be identified? Well, of course, the victims themselves can identify everybody. However, I myself personally can identify a dozen, more, but not just identify them. I can place them at the bar, I can place them at their private apartments, I can place them at hotel rooms, I can place them on shopping sprees through the substantiative evidence. So I'm not going to reveal names, I'm just going to use various descriptors. Ages, so 60. Now this is a man associated with the saloon bar. He's an elder associate. He has a lot of status in the hierarchy of their systemic operations and the structure of their operations. So 60, you take this 16-year-old female back to your private apartment. You drive her from the bar itself to your private apartment. You then offer her cocaine and champagne. Now, you fucking idiot. You wanted a photograph with this schoolgirl because you're a pathetic loser who wanted to boast. But unfortunately, you've incriminated yourself. I have the photographic evidence. I have a photograph of your predatory face pressed up against the face of what is clearly a very young female, holding up a bottle of champagne, alcohol. It's in your private apartment, but also to substantiate this, the victim herself, literally, that's the caption, he wanted a photograph with me, he's just booked me on a flight to Serbia, he is rich. Now, those tickets were purchased, and they can be traced back to this man. These were 2 tickets from Vienna International Airport to Belgrade International Airport. There's also a video of 60 tending to the injured knees of this schoolgirl, with the schoolgirl even stating it was his fault. So altogether, we have the provision of alcohol to a minor, illegal. We have the attempted movement of a female minor out of the country to a specific destination, Serbia, a common theme amongst these men, all associated with the saloon bar, all trying to move this girl out of the country to Serbia. That, my friend, is attempted sex trafficking, because it's not just yourself doing it. There's multiple men, all associated with the saloon bar in the 22nd district of Vienna. And she's a child. Sex trafficking of a child. One of your friends from the bar, 33, we'll just call him 33, literally stating how he wants to fly this young female to Serbia to have sex with his entire village, but also his own father. Literally a confession of his intent to fly this young schoolgirl out of the country for the purpose of sexual exploitation, child prostitution. Again, documented. Also again, photographs of your apartment, placing this female in your apartment with you. Multiple photographs. 33, you know who you are. But going back to 60 also, we have an adult male, he's 6 years of age, with a 16-year-old schoolgirl, and the schoolgirl's literally saying, like, I've incurred bodily harm because of this man, it was his fault. Also, the same female, 3 days after the fact, said, I've decided not to go to Serbia with him because I need to protect myself, showing some awareness of danger. Despite the incremental boundary erosion since age 14, she does still have some perception of danger. But what's frightening is she was genuinely considering this. Anyway, who else do we have? Fat Alb. We'll just call him Fat Alb. This is what the victim refers to him as herself. And also Beast. Beast, I know who you are. I've seen you, I've met you personally. I have met this motherfucker personally. I have seen him on the U-Bahn. Yeah, you're one of the men who's engaged sexually with this victim, this young schoolgirl, in the toilets of the saloon bar. There's also documented evidence of sex occurring in the car park of the saloon bar, private staff area, penetrative sex, oral sex in the private staff area, fondling this young female's breasts when she's intoxicated on alcohol that you've all plied her with, taking it in turns, playing with her breasts, exposing her breasts. Anyway, let's see. The bartenders. 28, 24, 30, 32, 57. So I know all of you, I can identify all of you meticulously. For example, 57, the bartender who is 57, and just to prove that I know who you are, bald, tattoos. You had sexual intercourse with this female in August of 2025 whilst she was intoxicated. 28, you had sexual intercourse with her in the toilets of the saloon bar in June 2025 when she was intoxicated. 30, you drove her to your private apartment and she spent the night there, again intoxicated. Always intoxicated on strong alcoholic beverages that the bartenders themselves have provided to this female for free, with the expectation that she will repay you all with sexual services. That's transactional. But that's plying a minor with alcohol and engaging sexually with that minor when she's intoxicated. Yeah, I know exactly the man who first introduced her to cocaine at this bar. I have a video of her in your vehicle outside a gas station. You know which gas station. The victim herself literally stating that you'd drove up to the bar in your car, drove to this gas station, purchased more alcohol, took her to your apartment, but also you provided her with cocaine. You provided cocaine to a child, to a schoolgirl. And then let's move to some associated male patrons. Some male patrons who go to this bar who are within the closed loop system. The bartenders know the patrons know the bartenders, they know the elder associates, they all know each other. So example, this one patron, he buys her alcohol, she's intoxicated. He pulls up his car in the car park of the saloon bar in the 22nd district of Vienna. A black Beamer. But you can't drive it because you're drunk yourself, so you get an Uber and you take her back to your private apartment. Let's see some of the text messages. So after having sexual intercourse with this young female, she receives text messages from the men. One of the text messages, as an example, "Don't get attached, it was a one-time thing." Now I know exactly which man sent that, and I can prove that. One of the bartenders, specifically, this is 28th. "I'm married, I have a wife. Shh, this is our special little secret. Shh." So, cumulatively, all of the bartenders at the saloon bar have had sexual intercourse with the same female, schoolgirl from AHS Krema, a local school that is basically functioning as a feeder of exploitable young females to this grooming pipeline. Refer to my other videos to understand how this school is failing catastrophically at safeguarding the basic levels of safeguarding. Anyway, the shopping sprees with the grandpas taken on shopping sprees. Now this occurs within the 22nd district. I know where, I know the places. You take this female to the nail salon, you pay for her nails, you pay for her stiletto shoes, lingerie, jewelry. This happens frequently, and you're all associated with the saloon bar. Now the men who take this female to hotel rooms for group sex, these elderly men, and you pay her directly afterwards, which is prostitution, but she's a child, it's child prostitution. Now, you're all associated with the saloon bar. Now already you can see this is a lot of men. What about, let's call him Czech. What about Czech, who is associated with the saloon bar? Having sexual relations with this schoolgirl in the back of your vehicle, ejaculating onto her face, and then after the fact she walks up and down the street with it on her face. Multiple times this occurred. 33. Let's talk about 33. So I know where you live. I've seen inside your apartment. It's all documented. The schoolgirl can be placed inside your apartment, but also it's documented what you did to the schoolgirl. So, highly age-inappropriate sex that is cocaine-fueled. We're talking 7, 8, 9-hour sex sessions at your private apartment. She is intoxicated on alcohol. She's also under the influence of cocaine. But this is a child. Now, you engage in dehumanization of this young female. Further boundary erosion. You insert glass bottles into her vagina. There's urination, acts of urination and defecation. And what about the offers of breast implants and cosmetic fillers? Cosmetic procedures. And this young female has had facial procedures. She's a child. Highly illegal. And by the way, regarding these patrons within the closed loop system, who know the bartenders and the elder associates, they all know each other. So the patrons, by July, August of 2025, this female, this schoolgirl from AHS Krema school, is having sex 3-4 times per evening at the saloon bar. We're talking male patron buying her alcoholic beverage, a strong alcoholic beverage, Jägermeister shots, goes to the toilets, repays with sex, comes back. Immediately, another guy sat at the table, she goes with him to the toilets, has sex with him, comes back. And then immediately, another guy goes to the toilets, has sex with him, comes back. 3 men, 15 minutes. Probably less. It's all documented. It may even be 10 minutes. I can't remember. There's so much documented evidence. And again, in August of 2025, victim is literally boasting. You know, I've had sex with 3 guys at the saloon bar in the past 12 hours. At the bar. I mean, again, if you didn't believe that the bartenders know the patrons, that the patrons know the elder associates of the bar, that everybody all knows each other and that this is a closed loop system, you got this female drinking at the bar Their presence is so notable because it's almost exclusively adult men at this bar. No outside males, no external males welcome. I really want to go to the saloon bar. You are absolutely not welcome there. This is the female, this is one of the victims. You are absolutely not welcome. You are most certainly not welcome at the bar. What? Why? Because you are a man. Oh, because I'm not a teenage girl that they can fuck and exploit. I'm not... Great. But anyway, my point is, they're so notable because they're the only young females in there. And the bartenders are waiting on them constantly, bringing them free alcoholic beverages. And then, obviously, later on, once the girls are intoxicated, they engage sexually with the bartenders. They're being plied with alcohol and then expected to repay them with sexual services. But anyway, if you didn't believe that it was all connected, the bartenders, if they were innocent, they can see that this female going to the toilet with a man, coming back, going to the toilet with another man, coming back. They all know what's going on. The bartenders know what the patrons are doing. The patrons know what the bartenders are doing. The older associates. It's all fucking connected. There's just so many men. And think about it. 15, 16-year-old schoolgirl, within hours of leaving the local high school, is at that bar having sex with not one, not two, 4 men in a row, and boasting about it, reframing exploitation as choice and empowerment. I want this. This is who I am. I want to be a prostitute. I love predators. They deserve me. This is incremental boundary erosion, transactionalization. It's grooming. Turning this child into a prostitute. But I digress. Now, just to reiterate, every man that I'm describing is interconnected by one commonality. Their presence in one specific adult social environment, the saloon bar in the 22nd district of Vienna. Let's go back to November 2024. 57-year-old predator in the toilets of the saloon bar, engaging sexually with this female. It's the same female every single time. After which she claims she thinks she was raped. He was so aggressive with me, I think I was raped. But then 3 days later, oh no, I think I liked it. I think it's just my kink. Classic reframing of harm, abuse, sexual exploitation as being a sexual preference, as being choice, agency, empowerment, trauma reenactment, and psychological reframing of harm as choice. It's a psychological survival mechanism. We see this in victims of sexual exploitation all the time. And of course, after raping this 16-year-old, she just turned 16 at that point, he's never seen again. He disappears. He disappears from the bar without a trace. He leaves the scene. He blocks the female. He's gone because he knows what he did. A, he knew this girl's real age. B, he knows exactly what he did to her. So he blocks, and he's never seen at the bar again. But we have his number. And it's actually still in active service, so you're still using the same number. And there is a credit paper trail attached to that number, so don't think about changing that number. Too late. So yeah, every single bartender at the saloon bar has had sexual intercourse with the same female multiple times on rotation. They've been plying her with alcohol at this bar since she was 14. She is thereafter being introduced to selected male patrons, elder associates of the bar. It's a closed loop system. All of the men are interconnected. They all know each other. They all have interpersonal relationships with each other. It's structured. It's organized. Now, the police rejected all of this evidence because they're corrupt and they're facilitating the sexual exploitation of this female and other females. I just want to specify, it's not one female involved. It is not one female. But this is A, the most extreme case. This victim is the most vulnerable and at critical risk. And B, it's the female that I've had the most access to, and I've been able to construct a data set for. and analyze. And this female is extremely psychologically unwell, by the way. Extremely psychologically unwell. Extremely vulnerable, but emotionally and psychologically extremely unwell. So when you consider that you're taking this child to hotel rooms, fucking her, paying her afterwards, not only is this a child with severe psychological and emotional issues that you're exploiting. Now, all of these men share a common ethnicity. They're mostly Serbian or Balkan origin, Serbian Orthodox. For example, in multiple apartments of these predators, I can see that there's svetis on the wall. So you've got Serbian Orthodox patron saints on the walls, and you wear crucifixes. You're exploiting children. You're having sex before marriage, but of course that pales into insignificance when you consider you're having sex with children, but not just having sex, you're literally grooming them, psychologically harming them, exploiting them, trying to sex traffic them, trying to provide them with cosmetic procedures and breast implants. You're dehumanizing them, inserting bottles into them. Anal penetration after anal penetration after anal penetration. And yet apparently you're Serbian Orthodox. Now I'm Orthodox myself, and with reference to orthodoxy, adult men who engage sexually with children, exploit children, should be cast into the sea with a millstone around their neck. Now that is what these men are. Predators. They're leveraging orthodoxy, Serbian heritage, instrumentalizing it, hiding behind it, and ultimately, this victim in particular is Serbian. It's ethnic targeted grooming. You're leveraging shared cultural identity and heritage in order to make this young female feel part of your community. Community that is composed exclusively of adult Serbian men, which this girl has been exposed to since age 14. No female peers at school, completely isolated. After school, her entire social life has been interacting with adult Serbian men at the saloon bar. It's been normalized incrementally through boundary erosion. The presence of adult men around this young female is not perceived as dangerous to her because it's been normalized. And just lastly, everybody knows the true ages of these females. It's no secret. They're under no illusions. They know the true ages of these females. You know, this victim said to one of the men that she was 19, but I don't think he believes me. Yeah, of course he doesn't believe you. They all know you're a child. See, the thing is, this girl is in that environment stating a false age, 19. Which is actually helping to distort her perception that she's being exploited. She thinks she's in control of the situation. They don't know I'm a child, I'm in control, I want this, I choose this. No, she's been incrementally groomed, psychologically conditioned, transactionalized, adultified. The whole time, these men know her true age. Oh, 57 wants to fuck me, but he says we should probably wait a year until I turn 20. Yeah, no, that makes no sense. If you were 18, why would he be saying that he wants to wait a year to fuck you? It's because he knows you're 15. He knows you're 15. And they all know. And why am I recording these videos? Because the police know. And they're concealing it. So if you found the details in this video horrifying, traumatizing as I do, having to repeat all of this, remember I have witnessed this, I know all of this information, I wish I didn't. But if you found this horrifying, just consider that the Viennese police were given the exact same information that you're hearing across all of my videos, and yet they minimized, reframed, and ultimately dismissed everything. Not one thing, not two things, everything. Even if you fragment this and you break it down into isolated incidents, even the provision of cocaine to a schoolgirl is highly criminal. And I have the evidence of that. Therefore, you can investigate and you can prosecute because I have the enough evidence. This is strong evidence. But no, they dismissed it. Across the entire interview with the police, you've got over 35 separate crimes in of themselves, all systematically dismissed by the Viennese police. They looked at everything in isolation and minimized it in isolation. If you go listen to my full disclosures regarding the Viennese police, no officer is that incompetent. It was a blatant intent to conceal and dismiss from the very beginning of the interview process. Instrumentalizing the Schutzalter, the age of consent, 14, in order to legalize, reframe, and legalize everything. But it's not legal. For example, this officer genuinely said, well, age of consent is 14. If we go to the girls and they say they want this, nothing we can do, bro. No. That is not how your own fucking laws work. As soon as it becomes transactional, there's direct payment between an adult male and somebody holding minority status, that is somebody under the age of 18. So between the age of 14 and 18, you're still a child. You still have minor status. Paying that child for sex is both prostitution and child prostitution. You do not go to that child and say, do you want this? Oh, you do. Nothing we can do. Age of consent. No. Legally, you have to intervene. That is a serious fucking crime. You do not even refer to the female for consent. You have to intervene. Likewise, provision of cocaine to a schoolgirl, highly criminal. I think I already mentioned that. Provision of strong alcohol, over and over, since age 14 through to 17. Any layman listening to this video, I'm sure you will immediately recognize this is grooming. You don't need to be trained as I am in safeguarding and exploitation and grooming. You can see it, right? Now, police officers all have basic training in safeguarding, in recognizing grooming. They don't have to specialize in grooming and sexual exploitation to recognize it. And ultimately recognize it to the point where, I'm going to have to defer to somebody who is specializing in sexual exploitation. And I just want this to sit with you. Everything you've heard in this video, if you're a normal human being, I'm sure you will be deeply affected by it. It's horrifying. Consider that the Viennese police heard all of this and they reframed it all as legal and dismissed it. This is why A, I claim that the Viennese police are corrupt. B, the Viennese police are facilitating the sexual exploitation of female minors in Austria. And C, there's catastrophic institutional failings. The police, education system and the integrated safeguarding framework of the education system, Kinderschutz, Kinder- und Jugendhilfe. No coordination, no multidisciplinary investigations, nothing. And if I'm being honest, personally, this is one of the most horrifying cases that I've ever seen. When you consider this young female is going to the toilet, having sex, coming back, then going with another man, coming back, going back again, 3-4 men in the space of 15 minutes at this bar, all in exchange for alcohol that she is addicted to because she's been plied with it since age 14. The breast implants, trying to fly her out of the country to Serbia, that's sex trafficking. It's horrifying. The introduction of cocaine, which is to emotionally blunt victims of sexual exploitation and increase their impulsivity and risk-taking in environments where sexual exploitation is occurring, is horrifying. Insertion of glass bottles, defecation, urination, 8-9 hour sex sessions. 50-year-old men, 60-year-old men, 70-year-old men. Taking her on shopping sprees, buying panties. Every single bartender. This is an established business in Vienna in the 22nd district. This is a business. Every employee at that business, every bartender has fucked this child in the toilets multiple times on rotation, and it's documented. There is such incriminating evidence of all of this, and just consider the police. No. Now, not only is it the most horrifying case that I have personally seen, there's worse, of course, but it's the worst I've seen. It's actually the case with the most evidence. If the authorities were ever going to uncover a grooming pipeline, if they were ever going to step in and protect schoolgirls who are being groomed and sexually exploited, because remember, this kind of thing evades the authorities so much because it's compartmentalized. Grooming, exploitation, it's compartmentalized. It's so difficult to intervene, to recognize what's happening. So if they were ever going to intervene, they were going to extricate females who are entrenched within an environment of organized systemic sexual exploitation. This is it. You're never going to get this much evidence. Just listen back to everything that I've described in this video. It is all documented. You're never gonna have this much evidence. So if you're not gonna act in this case, you're gonna fail every other female, not just in Vienna, in Austria, because this is institutional. You have by the most extreme amount of evidence you're ever gonna have handed directly into your lap, and you still ignore it. You won't do anything. You conceal it. So just think how many other girls are being groomed and sexually exploited in Vienna, in Österreich. So yeah, please refer to my other videos. I'm not going away. I'm just going to be getting more aggressive with my campaign. I'm absolutely not going to disappear, because I know that what's occurring here is not only the grooming and sexual exploitation of vulnerable young females, but also severe institutional failings, police misconduct, police corruption, failure of the education system regarding basic levels of safeguarding. The school itself, if you refer to my other videos, the things that have happened at the school are absolutely disturbing. The school in itself is a huge problem. It needs investigating. There needs to be serious reviews. So many things have occurred at that school that are absolutely disturbing. And it's all in the 22nd district of Vienna. Thank you for listening.